All right, today we're jumping into a really powerful but pretty short story from the Gospel of Matthew. It's about this incredible healing, sure, but it's also about something bigger. How a single, unbelievable moment can totally change the game, not just for one person, but for everyone who sees it happen.
So, let me ask you something right off the bat. Have you ever felt completely trapped, by something totally outside of your control? Maybe it's a physical thing or some heavy emotional weight. Or maybe it's something you can't even find the words for. That feeling, right there, that helplessness, that's the absolute core of the story we're diving into.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We've got a man who is trapped, and believe me, his situation is about as desperate as it can get.
So, picture this. A group of people, maybe his family, maybe his friends, they bring this man to Jesus. You can just feel their hope, can't you? They believe something, anything, can change, even when the man himself is absolutely powerless to do anything about it.
And look, this wasn't just one single issue. We're talking about a triple whammy here. First, he's blind, so he can't see the world, can't see the faces of the people who care about him. Then he's unable to speak, totally cut off from communicating. And if that wasn't enough, he's also tormented by a demon, a really deep internal spiritual battle. Can you even imagine being trapped inside a prison of silence and darkness like that? It's just wow.
But then, in the blink of an eye, everything changes. We're about to witness this massive shift from total desperation to this incredible, life-altering moment of transformation.
And there was no waiting period, no long, drawn-out recovery. The text is super clear on this. Jesus healed him completely, instantly. All three of those awful afflictions, the blindness, not being able to speak, the demonic torment, they were just gone. Boom, in a single moment.
I mean, just look at this transformation. It is absolutely staggering. 1 second, he's trapped in darkness and silence. The next, he can see, he can speak. This wasn't just some temporary patch-up job. Jesus gave him a complete top-to-bottom restoration.
Okay, but the story doesn't just stop there with the healing. In fact, this is where it gets really interesting. The reaction from the crowd, that's the actual turning point here.
Seriously? Could you imagine being there in that crowd? The people watching were just stunned. I mean, their jaws must have been on the floor. They just saw a guy they probably knew, a guy who was defined by his suffering, become totally whole in a split second. This wasn't some cheap magic trick. This was something that completely broke all the rules of reality as they knew it.
And all that amazement leads them to ask this one massive question. Could this be the Son of David? Now, you gotta understand, that's not just some casual question. Son of David was a huge deal. It was a title for the Messiah, the one they had been waiting for. So the crowd isn't just thinking, wow, what a great healer. No, they're connecting the dots. They're seeing this miracle as a giant flashing sign pointing to who Jesus really is.
So what's the big takeaway? What's the deeper meaning behind all this? And more importantly, why does a story like this still matter for us? Let's break down what this miracle is really all about.
Okay, so let's walk through this. First off, by tackling both the physical stuff and the spiritual torment, Jesus is basically showing, hey, I have authority over every single kind of struggle you can imagine. Second, the fact that the healing was so complete, so total, shows that what he offers is full restoration, not just a band-aid solution. And number three, and this is key, this whole thing wasn't just for the one guy. It was meant to be a powerful testimony for every single person who saw it.
So when we say the word testimony here, what do we actually mean? Well, it's way more than just someone telling a story about what happened to them. A testimony is a powerful story that really reveals who God is. It shows his love, it shows his power for everyone to see. In a way, this man's healing became this living, breathing story that did just that.
And that's really the final thought I want to leave you with. This man's deeply private suffering was suddenly transformed into this huge public story with an incredible message. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What does it mean for our own stories, our own struggles, and our own moments of healing to become a testimony for the people around us?